when you notice that your dog is particularly inquisitive about something behind the motel. He keeps trying to draw you down to this drainage ditch.
A dead body.
Inside that drainage ditch laid 4 dead
Four?
women.
Damn! Oh my gosh, and they're all women too. Yo, we all recognize some of the very, very infamous serial killer names like Dahmer. And while a lot of people like that did end up facing justice, what are the people who got away with it? There could be a dude in your backyard or in your basement rather getting ready to come upstairs and spread you open and touch you, bro, and you don't even know. So today we're gonna be checking out serial killers that are on the loose today. Yes, today.
Serial killers that are still on the loose. According to the FBI, there could be up to 50 active serial killers in the United States right now.
50 is low-key a lot, bro. Wait, I'm curious. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that like gang members count as serial killers? If we count gang members, bro, there's more than 50 serial killers. I'll tell you that right now, bro. Like freaking King Von is a serial killer, bro.
The I-70 killer.
Who?
The year is 1992. You are the manager working at a local shoe store. You've just began your shift.
Okay.
Today was like any other day. You were alone in the store, and the store was quiet. That was until one peculiar-looking man walked in. He enters the store looking directly at you.
Yo, why is he bogging though? Hold on though. I might have to drop my drawers, drop my panties, bro. Why does he have a chiseled jawline? I am going home with him tonight.
And doesn't say much. Although he asks you if you could find something for him in the back.
Anything you say,
oblige
sir.
And walk in the back only to realize you've been followed. And before you can understand what's going on, you hear
No.
the click of a
No.
gun and
No.
your life. Unfortunately, that is a real story of one of the victims of the I-70 killer. And this victim was one of many. The I-70
Rest in peace to her. What was his motivation? It just wanted to kill somebody?
killer is named after the I-70 highway because every single one of the murders attributed to him has taken place only a few miles off of the highway.
Damn.
For those unfamiliar, the I-70 highway is one of the longest interstates or highways in the entire United States and runs from Utah to Maryland. That alone is an interesting fact we'll get into later, but more
Wait, a
on
highway can run that long? Damn. Is this a stupid question? How long is it compared to the Great Wall of China?
more on the killer himself. It's believed that the I-70 killer was most active from 92 until 94.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie though, if I first seen this dude, I would have thought he definitely touches kids.
Although murders as recently as 2001 have also been attributed to him, very little is known about the I-70 killer, and every murder that is associated with him is because of the extremely consistent methodology this man used. Almost every victim of the I-70 killer follows the same criteria. The victim was a woman working alone in a retail location only a few miles off the I-70 highway and was nearly clinically executed with a 22mm bullet to the back of the head. Now,
when women say they have it harder in society, bro, I'm gonna be honest, they just do. You got random weirdos like this just going up to them, shooting them in the back of the head just because of their gender, just because what they were born with.
Interestingly, all of the murders attributed to the I-70 killer showed little to no signs of assault or robbery after the murder took place, meaning that this killer likely killed simply for the satisfaction of killing, which is just more evidence in case you weren't convinced that this person was twisted.
He's a freaking demon, bro. He's a demon. He needs to be apprehended, bro.
Now, it's important to note that there are a few murders from the I-70 killer that are a bit unorthodox. Specifically, a few murders that involved male victims, as well as a situation where 2 people were murdered at the same time, which was the first and only time that happened, and is theorized by authorities.
Yo, that one dude got extremely unlucky, or he did something really, really hated by the killer. Because for you to be the only dude who gets killed when he's a guy who attacks women, yo, you really got on his bad side, bro.
That the I-70 killer believed one of the employees was alone, when in reality the employee and store owner were both present at the location.
Damn.
And the I-70 killer decided to kill both of these people. As of today, there's believed to be anywhere from 6 to over 9 killings attributed to the
I'm very glad he said 9. No, I'm not glad. I'm not glad he said 9 because like 9 people died. 6, 7 jokes in these circumstances, in this situation. Guys, read the room, okay?
I-70 killer. And interestingly, with these murders taking place relatively recently and the sheer volume of murders that took place, there is quite a bit of evidence and information taking place. But interestingly, even with technology that existed at the time, which was only the early 90s, and the technology that exists today, which is way more advanced, there is still absolutely no clue as to who the I-70 killer could be. And all we have are a few artist depictions based off of a few eyewitness accounts.
How does a dude kill 9 people and get away with it and they don't even know what he looks like, bro? Like, it's one thing if you have his image or something and he flies a freaking plane all the way to Cuba or something and he's living with Tupac. But brother, he killed 9 human beings and nobody has a trail on him at all.
My mind is still a bit blown that with over 6 active crime scenes that have all been extremely consistent in a relatively modern time period, we still have no real information and it doesn't look like we're ever going to get any anytime soon. soon. And for people who claim to have seen the I-70 killer, they said that they saw a skinny white man, roughly 5'7" to 5'9", in their 20s.
Is this him? This the dude? Him?
To 30s at the time. Authorities across the United States are still actively searching for the true identity of the I-70 killer to finally bring him to justice. And today, investigators believe that the I-70 killer is likely between the ages of 52 and 70, meaning that it's...
There's no way he's still killing people. He's probably gonna get away with it, bro. Damn, that's so sad. This is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily believe in karma all the time and stuff like that, bro. Because you're telling me a dude like this can go and kill 8 or 9 women, one guy, get away with it scot-free, not get caught, bro. Brief intermission. If you're enjoying today's video so far, please make sure you go ahead and smash the subscribe button. We're on the road to 80,000 subscribers. Thank you very much.
Extremely likely that he's still alive and roaming the streets today. Although it's believed that he's either retired from killing or simply changed his methods so his new murders cannot be attributed to his now infamous persona. The I-70 killer wasn't the only killer of this kind. There's also an I-70 strangler and an I-65 killer. But even
this highway is just freaking haunted. Yo, hold on.
And those aren't all of them. And in a press release, the FBI has even stated explicitly that a disproportionate amount of murderers and serial killers have been truck drivers.
Damn.
Simply because their lifestyle is so conducive for serial killing. They're consistently traveling city to city. They're hanging out in locations that are relatively temporary, you know, rest stops, gas stations, and they always have a reason to be going somewhere.
So, more or less, I'm not trusting no truck driver. If you're a truck driver, you have your CDL, yo, you're not gonna be my friend. You're not my friend.
Drivers and trucks, for the most part, kind of fly under the radar. In regards to the I-70 killer specifically, the authorities don't know what his occupation was, but they do believe that he was either a truck driver, a drifter, or somebody who traveled on I-70 frequently for work. So I guess all I can say is, if you're traveling on I-70, and
be careful.
Something like this, keep your distance.
If you see a random dude who looks like Santa Claus on the I-70 and anywhere from Utah to Maryland, yo, watch out for that man. He could be the I-70 killer. It's scary to know that's all we know about this man. I could have met him. You could have met him.
The Eastbound Strangler. The year is 2006.
Damn.
You and your dog are staying in a cheap motel outside of Atlantic City.
Okay, this looks dirty as hell, but the aesthetic is fire.
As you've fallen on pretty hard times. And you decide to go out for your daily walk.
Okay.
You walk your dog on the usual route around the motel when you notice that your dog is particularly inquisitive about something behind the motel. He keeps trying to draw you down to this drainage.
A dead body, a dead body, dead body, dead body.
And while you're unwilling to go down there, you figure something suspicious is going on. You get back to your room and inform police, and after they arrive, they knock on your door and tell you that what you called them about was extremely concerning.
Like?
What was found in that drainage ditch was extremely disturbing. Inside that drainage ditch laid 4 dead women.
4? Damn! Oh my gosh, and they're all women too. Yo, what is with these sexist killers, man? This dude is literally like killing people in streaks, bro. I don't even want to make like Call of Duty reference or anything like that, but dude, holy, rest in peace.
Women that were found in this ditch were identified as sex workers in the area.
Oh.
And all of these women were laid extremely methodically. These women were all face down in the drainage ditch, roughly 6 feet apart from each other.
You measured that? Yo, this guy has OCD or something. He's weird. Not that everybody with OCD is weird, but this guy is particularly weird and he has OCD.
Bound, and all of them were fully clothed except for having their socks and shoes removed. And
it's clear we know what he likes, I guess.
all of them were strangled to death. The way that these women were killed and the way that their bodies were found is, of course, where the relatively twisted name of Eastbound Strangler came from. Now, basically everything I've just told you is almost everything that's currently known about the Eastbound Strangler. And unfortunately, that kind of just comes with the territory when you're talking about serial killers that are still on the loose. They're on the loose.
We don't know what he looks like, no description or anything, bro. I think this was only 20 years ago. And I know a lot of y'all are gonna say it's a long time, but this guy might be like 40 or 50 years old, still capable of killing more people.
Reason, that's because not much is known, or at least not enough to find them, let alone convict them. And unfortunately, this leaves a lot of room to speculation. And I would argue that if this serial killer was at least strong enough to strangle and move the bodies of 4 women into a ditch, then it's likely that they weren't extremely old when these killings took place. And because these killings took place only 19 years
they also probably seen the bodies and judged that the women weren't that old, right?
ago, I would say it's very likely that whoever killed these 6 women is still alive today and possibly still active, because all of these 4 murders—
Yo, bro, putting that freaking creepy laugh in the background is making this worse, bro. Yo, relax.
only linked together because all of the bodies were found in the same place. But if this killer decided to just go in any other place in the country and kill somebody in any other way, well, nobody's going to really suspect the Eastbound Strangler, the Jeff Davis 8. Fortunately, the Jeff Davis 8 situation does have quite a bit of information surrounding it. However, this information, while not only upsetting, only leads to more questions than answers. The Jeff Davis 8, or the Jennings 8, refers to a series of murders that took place between 2005 and 2009.
Okay, so that's not that long ago.
The small town of Jennings, Louisiana. All 8 of the Jeff Davis 8 victims were women. But
yo, bro, why do they just hate women? What are y'all doing, bro? And these are all women of different demographics, too.
More interestingly than that, they were also connected to each other. Not only did they all live in similar circumstances of being young women struggling with poverty, drug use, and prostitution, but they also literally knew each other.
Oh,
Several
what?
of the victims in this case were also police informants, and some of these informants even ratted on each other to the same police station. And police station is something we'll discuss just in a sec. All 8 of these women were killed in similar ways and dumped in similar locations. Interesting.
Am I crazy for having an eye raised towards that police station? Because if those women snitch on each other to a police station, the only people who know the information is somebody within this police station, right? Or am I looking at it too deeply?
The murder methods used being strangulation, suffocation, or drowning. And the areas these bodies were dumped were either in swamps or canals in remote areas outside of Jennings. Now, it's reported that when these bodies were found, it's shown that there was an active attempt to have these bodies unidentifiable once found.
Interesting.
It's also suggested that whoever placed these bodies in these extremely remote
Is this what the dude looks like?
locations was very familiar with the local terrain due to how specific these locations were and also how hard they were to get.
So he was a local guy. He was from here.
Off the bat, this case sounds like any of our other cases. Sure, a group of women unfortunately were killed and went missing because they lived in unfortunate situations and were vulnerable to psychopaths that were looking to kill innocent people. But once you look deeper into this case, you realize that while there very likely could have been a serial killer who killed these 8 women, it's also very highly suspected that there was some police involvement. And the theories
I freaking told y'all. Yo, now I'm gonna start getting chills, bro. Chills check, chills check. Yo, I might be a genius, bro. You might be able to call me short. You might be able to say I have a small meat or something like that. But you can't call me slow. You can't call me dumb. Hold on now, yo.
on the involvement of these police varies drastically. Some people believe that the local authorities not only executed the planning, killing, and hiding of these women's bodies, while others suspect that the local police were simply complicit in the situation and didn't put much effort into investigating this.
I see why people would think that, the same way I did, because like, bro, they only told you as the officers. Who else knows?
Situation simply because of who the victims were. Now, whether you believe that the Jeff Davis 8 killer was a single serial killer or potentially a group of people involved in law enforcement, the same conclusion can be drawn. Nobody has ever been charged for the murders of these 8 women, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like anybody ever will, which means
that you could die tomorrow, today, who knows, and you might never receive justice. And even if you do receive justice, bro, your life is just fragile, man. Like, you could just be gone the next day, bro. These women were probably chilling. I mean, they did say they were using drugs and stuff. Maybe they were something, I don't know. Obviously, they didn't deserve to go, man. This also opens my eyes to how much women are a target of these crimes, bro. Like, if you're a woman, be safe, please.
that the lunatic or lunatics who killed these 8 women are definitely on the loose and walking among us today. To me, this is another case that just rings so odd because there was literally 8 murders that took place over 4 years in super modern history. Like, we're talking 2005 to 2009. Like, the technology wasn't where it is now, but it was definitely advanced enough to have
the police doesn't catch them somehow? Bro, I was alive during that time, bro.
Some progress on this. So the fact that 8 murders can take place in 4 years in the exact same place and nothing ever comes of it is extremely suspicious, which is why, for that reason, I don't think that looking more closely at law enforcement is a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you watch some of the documentaries or read some of the books about the situation, then you'll definitely get a deeper perspective on the potential law enforcement involved.
Side note, I wonder if these companies end up paying the families of the victims because you are profiting off of their name, you know?
The West Mesa Bone Collector.
What?
The year is 2009.
Okay.
You are an active outdoorsman, and this time you decide that something that could be fun to try is testing your survival skills in the middle of the desert. And
Okay.
that's when you decide to try living off the land in Albuquerque's West Mesa. You spend your first day on the trip hiking and getting familiar with the landscape until, while hiking through a mesa, you see something sticking out of the ground. It doesn't look like a flower or cactus.
What is
As
it?
you get closer, you realize that this is a bone, but it doesn't look like any animal bone you've
A bone?
ever seen. And you realize that what you're looking at is a human bone. Immediately, you call the authorities, and within hours, the police have not only dug up one body, they've actually dug up the remains of 11 women and girls.
11 women and girls? Yo, holy. So these killers are all on the loose. They're all out today, potentially, and they all just hate women. What the actual fuck, dude?
The West Mesa Bone Collector is, first of all, just an insane name to give a serial killer. And second of all, one of the most infamous...
Yo, why do they be giving them, like, tough names, bro? Like, don't make these people sound like they have aura. They're horrible human beings. The Bone Collector. Like, no, let's call him the freaking Jimmy the fucking Freak, bro. Let's start treating him like freaking Discord mods, like Redditors or something, bro. Don't try to make them sound cool and feel cool.
Unsolved cases in modern history. It's unnerving how recent some of these cases are and how little information is actually available. In the case of the West Mesa bone collector, the bodies were discovered in 2009. However, it's believed that the murders took place from 2001 until 2005. Following the
bones in the ground for that long and nobody saw it?
Unfortunate trend already evident in this video, all of the victims of the West Mesa bone collector were women.
Yeah.
But not only were they women, some of these women were sex workers, and some of them were just struggling with homelessness and addiction. But definitely most saddening of all is some of these women weren't even women at all. Out of all of these 11 victims, well, technically 12, one was a 15-year-old girl and one was an unborn child. Because all of the bodies were skeletal remains by the time they were finally found, authorities were not able to determine a definitive cause of death, although they did say that trauma on the body was evident. And while the murder methods of the Mesa killer are unfortunately unknown, the one consistent variable in the situation is the method of hiding the bodies.
What do they do? In the bushes? Like on some Fortnite stuff?
Every single one of these 11 bodies was hidden in the exact same location, with the bodies being wrapped and then placed underground in an active effort to make sure these bodies were never found. And while the bodies were eventually found, the killer never was.
Holy chop, bro. Oh my god, look at the way he's built. Who saw him though? How do you even get this drawing?
At least not yet. And once again, this is another upsetting situation of potential mismanagement from the authorities. Because seriously, how do at least 11 women go missing in 4 years without anybody saying anything?
Mind you, 5 of those years, bro, those bodies were sitting in the ground just chilling. Just corpses, flies were coming, I don't know, you could smell it probably, you see bones, and nobody thought, you know what, let me inform the freaking police station.
And then when all of these women are found in the exact same location, even then, nothing is then known or discovered for the next 20 years. It's so disheartening. And I didn't mean for this video to be a bummer. It was kind of supposed to be scary, but I guess with this sort of situation,
it's sad, bro.
Comes with the territory. But regardless, with these murders taking place only from 2001 to 2005, it is extremely likely that the killer who executed these murders is still alive today and walking among us.
The thing is with these killers, they're known for this one incident of killing, right? Let's just say that dude killed 11 women. Who is to say he didn't kill another 15 women somewhere else? And that's the same dude killing them in separate occasions. We just think that it's this one dude who killed 11 women. He only did it once because we saw this one incident, right? But he could have killed more people later or earlier. We don't even know.
Rainbow killer. The Rainbow Killer is the first killer we're discussing that is not from the United States.
Huh?
Although the serial killer does still have a stereotypical, insane serial killer nickname. And the Rainbow Killer got his nickname because he was targeting and assassinating gay men in Brazil.
Damn.
Whoever is giving these serial killers names seriously needs to chill. But back on a serious note, the murders executed by the Rainbow Killer took place between 2007 and 2008. And during this time, it's believed that the Rainbow Killer killed at least 13 gay men.
Why, bro? All because what? Because what? I want to hear what his reason was. How do people minding their own business get you that mad to the point you hate and need to kill them? He gotta be like a lobotomy patient. I don't even know.
All of them being shot in the head. Like some of the other cases in this video, it was suspected that the alleged serial killer could actually be a member of law enforcement. However, in this situation, this was something that other authorities took seriously. And in 2008, the same year that the murders were actually ongoing, the Sao Paulo Public Safety Department actually made a public statement announcing that the killer might actually be a police officer, which I think is a very
What? That's just corrupt, bro. Brazil, what do y'all have going on?
Bold and respectable claim for the government to say. Like, if one of their own is doing this, it's important that they be able to speak up about that.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, facts. How can y'all casually just drop that as the government? Oh, by the way, you know, somebody in our police force might be a serial killer, guys. So be on the lookout. Anytime you call the cops, you want to trust the cop, right? Because he's a cop. But little do you know, he might just shoot you in the face because you're gay. Like, that's just not casual information you just drop.
Interestingly, later that same year in December of 2008, a Brazilian police officer was actually arrested because an alleged eyewitness stated that he saw this police officer kill a gay man by shooting him 12 times.
Oh
and
my
on top of this,
God.
another eyewitness reported to authorities that they saw the same police officer often hanging out in the same park where all of these gay men were being harassed and killed.
I know it's not the case all the time, but are you homophobic to the point where you might be gay yourself? Because why are you this enraged by gay people? Is it that you hate yourself for being gay or something?
Now, with two very strong eyewitness claims, obviously there was a case against this police officer. And for the first time in this video, it seems like there may be justice served. However, that was not the case, because in 2011, 3 years later...
So that means it was a different police officer. Oh, so there's multiple freaking police officer shooters.
The police officer that was alleged of killing this gay man and potentially being the Rainbow Killer was released after his trial because it was declared that he was not guilty by the jury. And whether you believe that it was actually this police officer or someone else entirely, the end result...
Wait, how is he not guilty if they watched him do it?
is the same. The Rainbow Killer, responsible for killing over 13 gay men, is still on the loose to this day.
Damn. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. That was serial killers who are still on the loose today. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I'm gonna say this is extremely sad, and this really opens my eyes up to more of like the safety issues that women face just being in public in general, bro. You never know if there's a random dude who just aggressively hates women to the point where he might end your life or do something crazy to you. And there'll be times I'm outside and I feel unsafe, bro. So imagine being a woman. Everybody watching this video, make sure you're being careful, man. Again, rest in peace to all the victims. With that being said, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, sub to the main channel in the description, follow the IG also description. Have a great rest of your day. It's Love You Law. I love you, and I'm out.